Hi everybody, welcome back. I wanted to come on here and say hi. I feel like it's been so long since we actually just chatted about something. And I wanted to just talk about the reorganizing and redecorating projects that are happening over on the other channel. I, first of all, am so excited that they're finally getting done. I know that, sorry, you just were a little crooked. I know that many of you are aware of my limited mobility issues that I have at time to time. Then, there we go. And that I was way more independent years ago. So anybody who has those issues knows that it's not just the fact that you can't do something for yourself or that you need somebody to help you with something. It is that loss of independence, especially when, like I've said this before, you know, when you were the person to offer the assistance always. I know many of you reach out to me, your ex-nurses, ex-teachers, or you never stop being a nurse and you never stop being a teacher, but your retired nurses or retired teachers who understand 100% what I'm talking about. Even if you're a mom, you know, to ask assistance from somebody who you were, you know, spent 35 years of your life taking care of and offering the assistance to that person. So I want to let you all know, I kind of mentioned it a little bit in a previous video, but the I don't like to say misery loves company because that's not really what it's about. But I do feel like we have a great support system here on the channel, on here in the family, where you know that sense of camaraderie that somebody has been where you are, or somebody is where you are. Sometimes it's not even just about, oh, like they got through it, but we're going through it together, which is another important thing. Just to have that sense of partnership, of friendship, where you can chat with each other. You guys want to exchange email addresses. You want to friend each other on Facebook so that you could talk. Any of those things, I'm all for, because I think that this YouTube family that we've created here is definitely a fantastic one, and I love to see you support each other in the comments as well. But one of the things that I wanted to mention as well, besides that, because like I said, I'm so happy that the projects are getting done. I am pushing myself every time we do a project. As a matter of fact, the other day when I did the book DIYs, that particular day, I got up at 7 o'clock or 7:47 in the morning, whatever, and I went to the Dollar General. Then I basically was nonstop all day. It was 1 o'clock in the morning and I was laying in bed and I said, oh, honey, I'm really tired. And then I started to think back about on what I did for the day, and I was like, heck yeah, I deserve to be tired. But sometimes the adrenaline or the pain is, you know, some days are better than others, and I just have energy, and it all is like that perfect storm of, well, storm's not really the right word, because it's actually the convergence of like all of the positivity. All of the good things happen at once, and you like take advantage of it. And then you get to bed at the end of the day and you're like, I need to go to sleep. And needless to say, I slept 9 hours that night, so, which is very unusual for me. But anyway, one of the things I just wanted to address, not a comment necessarily, but when somebody makes a comment that I feel like I will talk to them about, I want to share it with other people, because it was brought to my attention from a dear friend that if one person commented, it could be 30 people thinking it who just don't want to comment it. So I want to just touch on something really quickly about my stuff. You know, I have addressed in the past the amount of things that I possess. As far as overall of like all over my house possessions are concerned, I know that compared to some people, I'm a hoarder. Compared to others, I'm a minimalist. It's really like who you're talking to about whatever. I do come from a family where my father, I think being an Eagle Scout, was always tried to be prepared for everything. So sort of had to, taught us a little bit of like to have a little bit of everything in case something, you know, somebody calls you and you need something, whatever. And then my mom grew up with almost nothing. Like, we talk about how little means we had, but we knew that she had nothing growing up. So then her need to not really collect possessions, but to hang on to things for that same reason. You didn't have things, you don't know when you'll need them again. You never know when the other shoe is going to drop and you won't have money or whatever to possess things again. So that being set aside, I mentioned in the video, the last organizing video that posted, that Jimmy gets overwhelmed when he comes in here in this mess. So I wanted to address a few of those things, because I am not a person who ever looks to blame anybody. I really am not. I don't even look to blame myself. There's nothing gained from blame was a great quote that I heard ages and ages ago, because first of all, when a situation happens, it happens. We try to all learn from it. Not only the party that is responsible, but the people all around it. We all try to learn. And to make one person responsible and guilty, you know, I mean, I'm not talking about murder or somebody to, you know, to take somebody's life or something. It's a different story, but I'm just saying, like, for like little things in your marriage or your relationship. So nothing's gained from blame. So I'm not using Jim as a scapegoat, or I don't hold him responsible for the things that go wrong. But I will let you guys know that he is partially responsible. When he is trying to put something away, he never puts it away. I mean, I'm not sure that he's the only husband like this, but he never puts it away. When we were living with my dad, we had about 2 years, or about a year and a half, that we were living with my dad, that he could not utilize his bed. He slept in a lift chair because he couldn't get off the bed as well. So he slept in a lift chair in the living room. So his room, he said, just, you know, store it in my room, store it in my room. As long as I can get to my dresser, just put it in my room, put it in my room. Well, it became a running joke that my husband, literally, like, the whole room was empty except there was a huge pile by the door. Because what he would do is, we call it like open and dump. He would just do this thing. So that's part of Jim's MO, we say, you know. Put it away in the refrigerator. No, you know, the creamer goes behind the milk. No, the creamer goes right in the front of the refrigerator, wherever you're doing, like, stuff like that. So I don't want to say, obviously, it's not just my stuff. He was like, the other day on the video, I don't know if I actually left it on there. He was like, I come in here and this is all you, so I don't know what to do. And I was like, well, it's not. Okay? First of all, that whole corner of the room is his toolbox. And this corner of the room is all of his collectibles and his comic books and all of the things over there. And this corner of the room, not on the shelf, but under the shelf, is all the photo albums and yearbooks and stuff. So it's not just my stuff. It's just that my stuff is the most visibly accessed because I need to access it on a regular basis. So the other day when he was like, this is all you, and I was like, well, it's not really, but okay. I'm fine with that. I really am, because I don't care if he wants to blame me. I don't care. I know. I only have to answer to one person. That's the lady who looks at me in the mirror. She has to know the truth, and otherwise, I don't care. But anyway, so we were talking about all of my stuff. Now, this is not an excuse. This is an absolute reason. This is the 100% truth. When I was a crafter at home, a home crafter, I had maybe 1/3. I was going to say a quarter, but I will be generous and say 1/3 of the amount of craft stuff that I have now. But because I'm a craft teacher, for all intents and purposes, I have to keep more supplies on hand. Because if I go to use this in a project and it's the only one that I have and I wreck it, I have to toss the whole project out, put it aside for another day until I can replace the ribbon. But I don't think that that's practical, and because the way that the rhythm of my videotaping and editing part of my channel goes, I don't really have that. Like, when I do a DIY, unless I do like 5 in a row, you're going to see that DIY that night. Unless it needs to dry overnight or something along those lines, you're going to see that DIY that night. So I don't have the luxury of saying, like, let's just put this down. Oh, it's 8 o'clock at night. The Dollar Tree's closed or whatever. So I keep more than one on hand. Plus, a lot of times, people ask you where you get your inspiration from. A lot of times I'll be doing something and I'll be like, oh, you know what? I'll be creating a bow and I'll be like, oh, you know what? This would make a gorgeous wreath. And then I will just be inspired to go ahead and create that next. Also, I could be watching someone use an item in a way that was not intended, and that inspires me to use that item in the same way or in a similar way or with another project in mind. So I will go ahead and be like, yes, do that now, instead of always just writing down a list of materials that I hope to find in the future. Anyhow, again, not an excuse in the slightest. But this is the valid reason. I have more craft items than I ever thought I would. I have more craft items than a normal crafter. Normal home crafter does not really keep these kinds of supplies in their house. However, this isn't only my passion, this is my business. And because I'm a teacher, I really need to keep supplies on hand. Like, you think about your teacher when you were in elementary school and how much stuff she had in a closet and in a cabinet and in a desk and in a drawer and on shelves, because you always have to have the supplies available. So that being said, I do know that I have a lot, and I do know that it can be overwhelming, and I will continue, and this is, don't get on my side in the comments and be like, just let haters hate, because it's not about hating. I'm just trying to explain how it is. And I will continue to buy more supplies, because I very rarely buy supplies that I know that I have. Now, that being said, I know I do it. It's actually 100%, especially with items that are like the unicorn items. I have 4 metal wreath forms back here because I know that they're not always available around by me. I don't live in a big city. I have a Dollar Tree here in town. The next one is 30 minutes east. The next one is 30 minutes west or 30 minutes south. Well, yeah, it's sort of southeast west, but anyway, there's the next closest Dollar Tree is 30 minutes away. So I can't just run if my store doesn't have it to the next one. Like when I lived on Long Island, they were like 10 minutes apart. Because 100,000 people lived within a 10-minute radius. Here, it's not exactly like that. So I don't have the luxury of just like, oh, well, I don't have to pick it up today. They'll have it tomorrow. When I see an item, lace ribbon. I ran out of lace ribbon for about 3 months. I couldn't find it at any of the Dollar Trees. So you heck no, I have 6 rolls of lace ribbon right now because I'm not running out of that again. So it's just stuff like that. So, like, you normally in your home as a home crafter probably wouldn't have as much stuff as I do, and you may not buy any extra stuff at all. You may buy exactly what you need for a project. But I am not just a home crafter. I am not just somebody who does this for their pleasure, for gifts and stuff. I do this for you guys, to teach you, to share with you different ideas, and to teach you guys some tips and techniques on how to do crafts. And I love it. And again, I won't change it for the world, but I just want to explain why it may seem to some people that I have so much and why do I keep buying more. So yeah, I very rarely, if ever, buy stuff. Like, I don't have a lot of doubles of stuff except for like ribbon, wreath forms, Spanish bus, like stuff like that, flowers. Because those things, like the flowers are seasonal, the other stuff sort of like, it's not always in stock, so, and we use a lot of it, kind of thing. But I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to be able to provide you guys with the best experience here on the channel and over on the main channel. So that's it. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out and listening for a little bit. I'm gonna get to a DIY that you probably will see before you see this video. Yeah, if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments down below, okay? And as always, you take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye.